Story 84. Deciding to be confident. People would tell me to be confident, but I wasn't. It was not until I made the decision that things began to make sense. The key word is decide. Story 85. Learning to stop caring about things outside my control. I'm not a fan of self-help books, but forget it. Completely changed my mindset. Don't let the title discourage you. It's truly a fantastic book. Story 86. People are living their lives and are not trying to upset you. They don't know why you are upset because they are just doing what they do. Once I realized that, it was eye-opening. Sometimes I still get upset, but then I take a breath and remind myself, that's on you, not them. Story 87. The brain appreciates a story with an ending. One reason thoughts can linger in your mind is that you haven't concluded the story. Your brain is still searching for it. Your brain doesn't care if it's even real. It simply needs a resolution. Unfinished tasks or unresolved narratives tend to occupy our thoughts more persistently than completed ones. When you don't provide your mind with a clear conclusion, it keeps returning, seeking resolution. When you can't stop thinking, I have to finish that project. I didn't accomplish enough today at work. Tell your brain, I made good progress today. I've done what I can, and I'll pick up where I left off tomorrow. Now it's time to rest and recharge. Your brain doesn't need the story to be perfect or even true, just complete. This realization has helped me immensely. Story 88. I don't know if this is a mental tip or not. In my mid-20s, my dad took me to the doctor when I was diagnosed with depression. It was a standard doctor's office, but when you're anxious or sad, an office can seem very depressing. There was a sign on the wall that read, "Today, I'm not going to shit all over myself." I pointed it out to my dad. A few years later, he would remind me not to shit all over myself. I passed that advice along to my friends, their children, and anyone who uses the word should negatively. The positive use is, should I have dessert before or after dinner? Story 89. Eating healthy. I noticed that people are not paying attention to what they are eating. Most people, when they are depressed, tend to eat unhealthy food, which lacks essential vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that affect brain function. Story 90. I stopped drinking, and my anxiety dropped almost immediately. That, along with better sleep, has significantly improved my mental health. Story 91. I saw a post about mental resilience, and it really resonated with me. It should be common sense, but the thought had never occurred to me. Now, when I feel anxious or down, I focus on building my mental resilience. Story 92. For me, the basics are simple. Exercise intensely and safely, including weightlifting, eat well, and avoid caffeine and sugar. Story 93. It wasn't a tip, but rather the observation my wife made that I was always really happy and upbeat after a motorcycle ride. She is completely correct. Adrenaline is a great mood shifter. Physical exercise is another factor that works for me, whether it's snow skiing or taking a simple walk along the beach, through a forest, or in a park near home. Story 94. You don't need to spend a lot of money to be happy. Just make sure you have the basics figured out. Treat yourself to nice things once in a while, if and when you can afford it, but I've learned that I am actually happier on the days when I spend no money, because I feel better about myself. Story 95. Cutting alcohol. I have never been an alcoholic, but I used to drink a glass of wine or beer occasionally and would get drunk on weekends. The damage caused by a single glass of alcohol to your mood is significant. It takes days to return to a stable state after just one drink, and the aftermath of getting wasted is even more challenging. Since I completely cut out alcohol, I feel much more emotionally stable. I no longer experience inexplicable mood swings, and my emotional ups and downs are much more manageable. Psychotherapy. Story 96. Join support groups. I was in therapy for years before I finally found a good network of groups, and it is changing everything. Story 97. Depression is a rewiring of your subconscious due to an important change. Therefore, it is essential not to be afraid of it and to focus on what brings you into depression in the first place. Medication can help you distance yourself from your trauma, but it will not do the work for you. Story 98. Get up and get dressed. Don't stay in pajamas all day. It makes a world of difference, coming from someone with severe depression. Story 99. Make the food you eat, even if it is cereal or bacon on a sandwich. Spend some time preparing something. Story 100. You have no control over anyone's perception of what you say. This comment from my therapist changed my life. Story 101. Actually wind down before going to bed. No phone, no television. Just read a book or chat with my husband. At most, play some music. I sleep so well now. It's unbelievable. And I actually wake up without anxiety. Story 102. I have a dog. No matter how I feel or how little energy I have to get out of bed, I must take care of him. He needs to eat and go outside. Somehow, when I feel the worst, he comes up and starts licking me, which always makes me smile. Story 103. Setting small, realistic goals every day. Instead of thinking I had to fix everything, I focused on just one or two things I can realistically handle in a day. Story 104. Short meditations where you try to clear your mind of all negative thoughts and walking, preferably near natural surroundings. Story 105. Exercise, sleep, eat better, consume less alcohol, meet a friend once or twice a week, and pray. These steps gradually transformed my life. Story 106. Changing the way I talk to myself. I don't say negative things to myself anymore. If I wouldn't say it to a friend, I won't say it to myself. My whole life has transformed. No joke. Story 107. Whenever I am feeling down, I try to find something constructive to do, like a random task that needs to be fixed or worked on in the house. The process and feeling of accomplishing something, even if it is small, has been very helpful. Story 108. Spend 5 to 15 minutes doing simple tasks like washing dishes or scrubbing the toilet when you feel overwhelmed by everything that needs to be done. You may not accomplish everything, but it will help clear your mind and create a more manageable space to focus on. Story 109. For me, it was getting a dog. He ignored me, dragged me around on every walk, ate me out of house and home, and cost me a fortune in veterinary fees. However, having another living, breathing being to love and to feel honest love from kept me going through the worst of it. Story 110. If you find yourself being negative and speaking poorly about yourself, stop. Just stop. Find something positive to say instead. No one would talk to their best friends or allow a stranger to speak to them the way you speak to yourself. It's damaging and counterproductive. It doesn't matter if you think it's true or not. All it does is tear you down. It never adds value to your life. This doesn't mean you aren't going to take responsibility for anything. You're just going to acknowledge that you are human and that making mistakes or not being perfect is part of the deal for everyone. So cut yourself some slack and let yourself move on without mentally punishing yourself. Story 111. When I want nothing less than to run, that's when I need it the most. It's a nice little dopamine boost, feeling the sun on my face or listening to the rain, especially when I'm hungover. My dopamine drops so dramatically that I contemplate changing my name and starting a new life as a goat herder somewhere remote. Story 112. Being in nature and the idea that comparison is the thief of joy resonate with me. I still struggle with the latter,